Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the electrifying twists unfolding over the next 3 weeks starting November 17th, 2025, as Port Charles buzzes with secrets, betrayals, and high-stakes confrontations. Loyal fans are bracing for a whirlwind of drama that could shatter alliances and reshape destinies in this iconic ABC soap opera. From unexpected returns to courtroom shocks and heated family clashes, the upcoming episodes promise non-stop suspense that will keep viewers glued to their screens. Jacinda and Michael's risky romance heats up. In the heart of Port Charles' tangled web of relationships, Jacinda Breckle and Michael Corinthos are igniting sparks with what began as a carefully orchestrated fake romance, now teetering dangerously close to genuine passion. Despite Jacinda's shadowy history involving corporate espionage and her infamous entanglement with Drew Kane that left reputations in tatters, Michael sees a path to redemption in her eyes, or so he believes. Their bond has already proven invaluable, serving as mutual alibis in the chilling investigation surrounding Drew's recent shooting, where bullets flew amid a stormy night at the docks, raising questions about hidden motives and concealed weapons. Close confidants, including Michael's sharp-eyed sister, have pulled him aside with urgent warnings, painting vivid pictures of Jacinda's potential to drag him into deeper scandals, from leaked documents to whispered betrayals that could unravel the Quartermain empire. Yet, undeterred by the red flags waving like storm signals, the couple has boldly gone public, parading their affection at high society galas where flashing cameras captured stolen glances and lingering touches that screamed authenticity. The real test arrives when Michael introduces Jacinda to his sister Christina Corinthos Davis during a tense family brunch at the Metro Court, where silverware clinked awkwardly against plates, and the air thickened with unspoken judgments and sit-along stares that hinted at brewing family feuds. As whispers of doubt circulate, Jacinda's poised demeanor cracks just enough to reveal vulnerability, adding layers to her character as she navigates the Corinthos clan's cutthroat dynamics. But the drama escalates further when Jacinda steps into the lion's den for a pivotal meeting with the formidable Sonny Corinthos, Michael's estranged father, whose piercing gaze has dismantled tougher facades than hers expect power plays, veiled threats, and perhaps an unlikely spark of understanding that could either forge an alliance or ignite a war within the family. Rocco's courtroom nightmare unfolds, shifting gears to a younger corner of Port Charles turmoil. Rocco Falconeri finds himself thrust into a legal maelstrom that no teenager should face, all stemming from a desperate act of loyalty at the science lab. In a bid to shield his close friends Danny Morgan and Charlotte Casadini from fallout after a botched experiment involving volatile chemicals and flickering emergency lights, Rocco took the blame, exposing himself to authorities in a moment of raw bravery that echoed the show's timeless themes of protection and sacrifice. Initially, the incident seemed containable, a simple misdemeanor charge for unauthorized access, with community service as the likely outcome, allowing Rocco to return to his basketball dreams and school crushes without much fanfare. However, the courtroom erupts in chaos when attorney Justine Turner delivers a jaw-dropping bombshell to the judge, unveiling forensic reports that detail extensive damage, shattered glassware worth thousands, ruined prototypes from a cutting-edge research project, and even traces of hazardous materials that could have endangered the entire facility. This revelation catapults Rocco's case from a slap on the wrist to a full-blown felony trial, where visions of juvenile detention or even adult prison loom like dark clouds, forcing the Falconeri family to confront their vulnerabilities head-on. Lulu Spencer, Rocco's fiercely devoted mother, wastes no time rallying support, turning to her old confidant Carly for guidance in a heartfelt late-night conversation at the coffee shop, where steaming mugs and tear-streaked faces underscore the emotional toll. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri, Rocco's father and a battle-hardened detective, grapples with his own rage, losing his temper in an explosive outburst at the precinct that rattles colleagues and hints at deeper frustrations from his unresolved cases. As the trial date approaches, subtle hints of witness testimonies and surprise evidence suggest twists that could exonerate Rocco or seal his fate, drawing in familiar faces like the ever-watchful Casadinis and Morgans, whose loyalties will be tested in ways that ripple through Port Charles' interconnected lives. Confessions and clashes in the shadows. Amid the Falconeri family's crisis, other secrets simmer to the surface, starting with Giovanni Joe Palmieri's long-overdue confession to Brooke Lynn Quartermain, delivered in a moonlit park where autumn leaves swirled like unspoken regrets. Joe, the brooding musician with a knack for uncovering hidden truths, finally unburdens himself about a concealed family tie to an old Quartermain scandal involving forged deeds and lost fortunes, a revelation that could either mend their budding romance or fracture it beyond repair. Brooklyn, ever the resilient composer of her own destiny, listens with a mix of shock and steely resolve, her mind racing through scenarios where this truth might bolster her elk boardroom battles or expose her to corporate sabotage. This intimate exchange sets the stage for broader confrontations, weaving personal vulnerabilities into the fabric of Port Charles' power struggles. Britt's hospital showdown with Emma. Tensions reach a boiling point at General Hospital when Britt Westburn locks horns with Emma Scorpio Drake in a gripping hospital corridor standoff that pulses with maternal instinct and youthful defiance. As the young college student, fresh from a grueling exam season, attempts to slip away toward the exit with her backpack slung over one shoulder, Britt intercepts her with a firm grip on her arm, her voice cutting through the beeps of monitors like a scalpel. "You're not leaving until we sort this out," Britt declares, her eyes flashing with the intensity of a doctor who's seen too many close calls, referencing a string of suspicious incidents involving Emma's involvement in underground medical trials that skirted ethical lines. This confrontation unfolds early in the week, layered with flashbacks to their shared history. Britt's own battles with illness and Emma's admiration turn to friction, adding emotional depth to what could have been a simple clash. Jen Sidwell, a sharp-tongued intern caught in the crossfire, fumes from the sidelines, her clipped responses hinting at alliances that might tip the scales. By midweek, Britt doubles down with a stark ultimatum, demanding Emma sever ties with a shadowy research group funded by anonymous donors, whose experiments on experimental drugs have led to unexplained side effects rippling through the hospital staff. As the days progress, Britt's unshakable facade begins to crack under the weight of revelations, leaving her visibly rattled during a routine shift where a patient's chart reveals eerie parallels to her past. The week's climax arrives on Friday, when Jason Morgan corners Britt in the dimly lit break room, grilling her with his trademark intensity about Emma's safety and the hospital's hidden agendas, probing for details on encrypted files and late-night deliveries that suggest a larger conspiracy brewing within the walls of General Hospital. This arc not only heightens the drama, but explores themes of trust and redemption as Britt navigates her role as a reluctant guardian in a world where medicine and mystery collide. Election fallout and shocking revelations. The ripple effects of Port Charles' mayoral election results crash like waves on the shore, delivering blows that reshape political landscapes and personal fortunes starting midweek. As ballots are tallied under the glow of City Hall lights, the outcome stuns supporters, with underdog candidates emerging victorious amid allegations of voter irregularities and backroom deals that echo the town's storied history of corruption. Laura Collins, the resilient former mayor with a heart for justice, absorbs a particularly jarring shock the following day during a strategy session at her home, where a trusted advisor drops a bombshell about tampered evidence from past campaigns, forcing her to reassess alliances with figures like the ever-scheming Casadinis. This political upheaval intersects with everyday lives, influencing everything from community funding to personal vendettas, as residents grapple with the implications in coffee shop debates and tense town meetings. Trina's dilemma and Vaughn's bold moves. On a more introspective note, Trina Robinson wrestles with the weight of a long-buried secret, contemplating a confession that could upend her carefully constructed world of art classes and budding romances. In quiet moments by the waterfront, where the lapping waves mirror her inner turmoil, Trina weighs the pros and cons: freedom from guilt versus the fallout on her relationships with Portia and the Robinson family, her artist's sole yearning for authenticity amid the deception. This internal battle gains urgency when Vaughn, the enigmatic figure long absent from the scene, makes a dramatic return, summoning Jocelyn Jacks to a secluded cabin on the outskirts of town, where flickering candlelight illuminates maps and clues tied to unresolved mysteries from years past. Vaughn's reappearance stirs old wounds, promising revelations about hidden identities and stolen artifacts that could vindicate Trina or draw her deeper into danger. Carly faces intense interrogation. Carly, the queen of reinvention, steps into the spotlight when Jack Brennan subjects her to a relentless line of questioning in a sterile interrogation room that smells of stale coffee and suspicion. Brennan, with his detective's precision, circles topics from Carly's business dealings at the Metro Court to her tangential links in the Drew shooting, his notebook filling with details of overheard conversations and financial trails that point to broader conspiracies. Carly's quick wit shines as she parries with half-truths and defiant stares, but beneath the surface, flashes of genuine fear reveal the stakes: losing custody battles or facing charges that could strip her of her empire. This encounter not only tests Carly's resilience, but uncovers threads connecting her to the election scandals, amplifying the town's interconnected chaos. Chase delivers ominous updates. Detective Harrison Chase arrives with heavy news for Alexis Davis in her law office, where stacks of case files loom like storm clouds, detailing a breakthrough in an ongoing probe that implicates high-profile clients in embezzlement schemes. Alexis, the battle-tested lawyer with a moral compass forged in family trials, absorbs the information with a steely nod, her mind already mapping defenses and counter-strategies that could expose corruption at the highest levels. Later, she relays this update to Jason Morgan during a discreet meeting at the pier, their conversation laced with coded references to safe houses and encrypted communications, underscoring the risks they both face. Alexis doesn't stop there, conferring with Felicia Scorpio over an encrypted phone call that delves into forensic evidence and witness protections, their shared history as investigators fueling a plan to safeguard innocence. Next, we will learn about the shocking twists surrounding Drew Kane's shooting and the web of suspicions that's ensnaring Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate. In the shadowy undercurrents of Port Charles, Drew Kane has been meticulously orchestrating a deception that casts a long shadow over Michael Corinthos, positioning him as the prime suspect in the baffling attack that left Drew fighting for his life. For weeks, Drew has played the role of the amnesiac victim, insisting that the night of the incident remains a foggy blur, with no faces or figures emerging from the dim light of his living room as the shots rang out. Yet, whispers among the insiders suggest a pivotal moment is on the horizon, where a fabricated flash of memory could suddenly illuminate Michael's silhouette in the scene, linking him inextricably to the crime. This clever maneuver not only deflects suspicion from other corners, but also cleverly reverses the narrative on Michael's earlier attempts to implicate Willow, the woman whose gentle strength has captured Drew's unwavering affection. By inventing this recollection, Drew aims to seal the case against his rival, the man who once shared Willow's vows, ensuring that every thread of evidence points squarely at Michael's vengeful hand. The irony here is profound. Drew's scheme, born from a desire to protect his budding romance, risks unraveling the fragile trust within the Quartermain and Corinthos families, potentially igniting a feud that could echo through the halls of the mansion for generations. As viewers, we can't help but ponder the psychological toll on Drew himself. Is this calculated ploy a sign of his growing paranoia, or a desperate bid to reclaim control in a town where secrets are currency? But as the plot thickens, Detective Harrison Chase emerges as a relentless force, his investigative instincts honed to a razor's edge, pursuing leads that threaten to expose the truth behind Drew's bullet-riddled night. Chase's determination is legendary in Port Charles, where he's cracked cases that others deemed unsolvable. And now he's zeroing in on anomalies that don't quite align with the finger pointing at Michael. Rumors swirl that his pursuit of the genuine culprit will deliver a jaw-dropping revelation, one that could upend loyalties and shatter illusions, leaving even Chase reeling from the implications. Imagine the detective's world tilting on its axis as evidence mounts not toward the obvious suspects, but back to the heart of the matter. Could Willow Tate, the poised and resilient nurse, harbor a darker secret from that stormy evening? Chase's methodical approach involves re-examining the timeline, from the weather reports confirming the torrential downpour to witness statements that place key players in unexpected proximity. His unyielding focus means that no red herring, no matter how artfully placed, will deter him. He's already subpoenaed security footage from nearby estates and cross-referenced alibis with untraceable phone records. This dogged pursuit not only heightens the drama, but also underscores the theme of justice in General Hospital, where personal vendettas often collide with the cold facts, forcing characters to confront uncomfortable realities about those they hold dear. Delving deeper into Chase's suspicions, it's clear that his conviction centers on Michael as the architect of this violent episode, a belief fueled by a cascade of incriminating details that paint a damning portrait. The detective views Michael not as the grieving family man, but as a calculating operator who might have resorted to desperate measures amid the escalating tensions over Willow's divided loyalties. Key to his theory is the mysterious placement of Edward Quartermain's antique revolver, the very weapon used in the shooting tucked away in the guest room at Elizabeth Baldwin's cozy home, where Willow had sought temporary refuge during her ordeal. Chase posits that Michael's access to the Quartermain arsenal, combined with his intimate knowledge of Elizabeth's household, made it all too easy to stage this plant, hoping to divert attention from his own potential involvement. Adding fuel to the fire, Tracy Quartermain's silent observation that fateful night places Michael lurking near the crime scene, his presence unexplained and his demeanor shrouded in unease. Though the sharp-tongued matriarch has kept her lips sealed, perhaps weighing the family fallout, Chase's resolve is ironclad. He's poring over forensic reports that match fibers from Michael's jacket to those found at the scene and interviewing peripheral witnesses who recall heated arguments between the brothers. In the days leading up, no amount of interference from Drew or pleas from Willow will sway him. Chase is committed to unmasking the shooter, even if it means dismantling the Corinthos empire piece by piece, highlighting the show's exploration of how ambition and betrayal erode the bonds of brotherhood. Yet, amid the mounting pressure, Michael Corinthos exudes an air of unshakable confidence, dismissing the swirling accusations with a calm that borders on arrogance, as if he holds an ace up his sleeve in this high-stakes game of cat and mouse. From the very beginning, Michael has proclaimed his innocence to anyone who would listen, including his formidable father, Sonny Corinthos, whose probing questions during a tense family confrontation at the Metro Court only elicited firm denials and unwavering eye contact. Sonny, ever the protector, pressed hard on the rumors of Michael's guilt, but his son met the scrutiny with a steady gaze, recounting his evening with wily and vivid detail to underscore his alibi. The tension peaked last week when Willow, freshly released on bail after a grueling arraignment, strolled into the Metro Court's bustling atrium and spotted Michael savoring a towering ice cream sundae with their son Wiley and the ever-curious Jacinda Bracken, who had joined for an impromptu playdate. Pulling him aside into a quiet alcove, Willow unleashed her fury, her voice a hushed torrent as she accused him of slipping the gun into her room and orchestrating her setup, her eyes blazing with betrayal. Michael's response was an enigmatic smile, a subtle curve of the lips that spoke volumes of inner certainty, before he sauntered away, leaving her stunned and the air thick with unspoken truths. This nonchalant demeanor suggests layers beneath the surface. Perhaps Michael possesses knowledge of Willow's actions that night, gleaned from a hidden vantage point. Or maybe he's woven an airtight counter-narrative involving falsified timestamps on security cams. His lack of worry isn't mere bravado, it's the quiet assurance of someone who anticipates the scales tipping in his favor. A testament to the character's evolution from impulsive heir to strategic survivor in Port Charles' unforgiving landscape. As the layers peel back, the possibility of Willow Tate as the true shooter looms large. Her vehement denials clashing against a backstory riddled with emotional fractures that could have propelled her toward an unthinkable act. Willow's insistence that she never fired at Drew, coupled with her accusations against Michael's framing, rings with conviction. Yet cracks in her facade hint at a deeper turmoil bubbling beneath her composed exterior. Her family history is a powder keg of psychological volatility. Her mother, Nina Reeves, has navigated episodes of intense emotional upheaval that strained relationships across the town. From boardroom battles at Crimson to personal reckonings with long-lost daughters. Echoing this legacy is Willow's late twin, Nell Benson Jerome, whose descent into obsession and manipulation left scars on everyone from Carly to the Quartermains. Her actions often driven by a fractured psyche that blurred the line between victim and villain. It's conceivable that Willow, under the crushing weight of betrayal, has inherited this volatile thread, her mind shielding her from the horror of what transpired. The catalyst? The devastating revelation of Drew and Nina's clandestine affair, a secret liaison that shattered Willow's world, igniting jealousy and rage on a night when thunder crashed and rain lashed the windows. Picture Willow, soaked and trembling, pounding on Drew's door in a haze of fury, the gun materializing in her hand like a dark impulse from the shadows. The aftermath, a blackout of repressed memory. Her actions buried under layers of denial could explain her fragmented recollections and uncharacteristic lapses during police questioning. Michael, ever watchful, might have witnessed the entire tragic sequence from afar, his silence now a protective veil over Willow's unraveling state, complicating his own defense as Chase's evidence circles closer. The ramifications of this potential truth are seismic, thrusting Chase into a moral quagmire where professional duty clashes with personal entanglements, forcing him to navigate the fallout of redirecting blame toward Willow. As clues accumulate, perhaps overlooked raincoat with gunshot residue in Willow's closet or a tampered diary entry surfacing in evidence, Chase will grapple with the ethical bind of pursuing a woman he's come to admire for her quiet fortitude and dedication to healing others. His internal conflict could manifest in sleepless nights, poring over case files at the precinct, second-guessing every lead that implicates her while weighing the integrity of the badge against the chaos it would unleash on the Corinthos clan. Drew, meanwhile, would be thrust into a vortex of disbelief and anguish, his fabricated memories crumbling under the weight of Willow's possible guilt, challenging the foundation of his feelings for her. Forgiveness becomes the central question. Could Drew, scarred both physically and emotionally, extend grace to Willow if her breakdown is confirmed as the trigger? Or would the betrayal sever their fragile connection irreparably? For Willow, the horror of recollection looms like a storm cloud. Will fragmented dreams evolve into a full admission of pulling the trigger? Or will therapy sessions with Dr. Kevin Collins unearth the suppressed trauma in a cathartic breakthrough? This arc delves into themes of redemption and mental health, illustrating how Port Charles residents teeter on the edge of self-destructs, their paths intertwined in a tapestry of love, lies, and lingering doubts that keep fans glued to their screens.